Alright, what is this?
It'd be better if you just...
I sell methamphetamine.
Yeah. So what, you sold drugs to that person?
Yeah.
So what is this? This is a meth lab.
This is my meth lab.
Unbelievably disgusting. Oh, so why'd you beat that person up?
Cause he's not doing his job and he's stuck.
Does this game tell you that drugs are bad or anything?
No, not much, actually.
So this is the video games that kids are playing now. Not you anymore, sweetheart.
Well guys, we're back again, and unfortunately I did not want to revisit this topic, but it is something that we're going to have to touch on. Now you might be wondering, where the heck are the Schedule 1 updates? And that's a very good question. Now as you can see, the last Schedule 1 update was the jukebox and storage unit going live on May 8th. Now since then we have seen a development stream from Tyler with the implementation of lockers, but of course we are yet to see that hit the main game. Now if you were unaware, Schedule 1 still is not available on the Steam store for us Australians, and that is because a government agency in Australia has to review each type of video game, film, or movie or video. Anything apart from any online social media content needs to go through the Australian Classification Board and receive a rating before it is allowed to be sold in Australian markets. Now, as we can see here, Tyler has come out publicly and he has said he did not know any games sold online needed a classification rating. Now, if I know the Australian government, which I do, given the amount of success Tyler has seen in his video game, this may be a bigger problem than we're led to believe. I know it has only been 6 days since we have seen this post, but with the classification board doing so many classifications per day, I don't think it would be unreasonable to expect a case of this notoriety to receive maybe a faster classification than most games. Now it is early morning on Monday. This is on the 17th of May. This has been recorded on the 19th. So obviously none of these will be done in the weekend. So it'll be very interesting to see today what happens with Schedule 1. Obviously I have just shown you a clip that is currently going viral on Twitter. Given the notoriety and success of Schedule 1, I doubt things are going to be very straightforward. Now, if you sell a video game without going through the proper classification process, you are violating federal law. Now, in some states in Australia, these punishments can be rather small. For example, in Western Australia, a fine up to $2,000, and South Australia offering a pretty relaxed system on it as well, with a maximum penalty of $2,500. Now, here we can see in some jurisdictions, such as the Australian Capital Territory, more severe penalties apply. For instance, selling or demonstrating certain unclassified computer games can lead to a penalty of 1,200 penalty units or 10 years imprisonment. Now, the penalty unit in Australia is worth $110, so it doesn't take a mathematician to figure out how much of a fine Tyler could be looking at for games sold in the ACT without a classification. Now, if Tyler is a smart man, and I'm sure he is, I'm sure he's got some more pressing matters on his hands right now. I would be betting that instead of working on game development, being a sole developer of Schedule 1, he is now probably in talks with lawyers inside Australia to figure out what the damage is going to be. Dare I say the Australian Classification Board is probably rubbing their hands together thinking they are going to milk some money from the wave of relevance Schedule 1 has seen. What do you guys think? Do you think there's justification in parents being upset that a game like this is reaching their children? Should Steam put more of an effort in validating the ages of children that are downloading and buying these games? Is the responsibility on their parent or is it on the Classification Board? Personally, I lead to the responsibility falling on the parent. I think that you can't expect the government oversight or a government agency to police what content your children can consume. If you're relying solely on those sources, then unfortunately, I don't think your child will be well protected. Now, in the clip that I showed you, it is up to the parents to figure out what's going on in their kids' lives. And unfortunately, government agencies like this exist to impose regulations for revenue earning streams for the government. It's all just part of a big bureaucracy, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with that wherever you're from and have been watching the news for the past however long. This is a pretty hot topic at the moment. But at the end of the day, you have to abide by the laws of the country that you live in, and not doing so, you may be up for a fine. Now, at the end of the day, $130,000 is probably a drop in the bucket, though it would sting anyone immensely. Personally, I would take it as a personal offense, and if I was Tyler, I would be lawyering up and getting in contact with some creators to start spreading his case. But again, I may be overreacting. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Maybe the classification board is totally understanding and they're just going to give this a classification. But of course, as I mentioned in the last video, the list of banned games in Australia is extensive. Some of these games making the list for seemingly trivial reasons. I like to point out the example of Syndicate, which is a game that was developed in 2012 and it was banned outright because of a high impact bloody violence and still remains banned in Australia today. Now, if Australia is banning outright violent video games, though that's over a decade ago, who knows what the fate of Schedule 1 is going to be. Unfortunately, I don't like putting attention on these things. I want to go and put out a disclaimer. I do not want this to happen. I want the game to flourish. It is a beautiful piece of artwork. And frankly, I don't think it's too harmful for even children to play. Though the themes can be a little bit mature, it is nothing different from what we see in modern TV. Breaking Bad being an excellent example. Happy for millions of people around the world to watch that TV show, and it is not banned in Australia, but yet a game depicting the same kind of themes will be held back from the Steam store. It just seems a little bit hypocritical, and I think government agencies like this and regulatory boards that just exist for the sake of existing is yeah, it's a pain. But here we are. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe down below. I want to bring you the latest and greatest news on Schedule 1. So if you want to see more of that, make sure you hit the bell icon. And of course, we will be exploring other indie games and new releases just to kind of bring you the latest scope on the gaming world. Thanks for watching. And of course, guys, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.